Hello, Namaskar, good evening. This is Balneet Singh Bedi. I welcome all of you to the daily news analysis session by Tathastu ICS. Good evening, Roshni. Good evening, everyone. Let's start today's session. Under mains Manthan, we have two important news. The first one regarding the GST reforms as well as unfinished business in the tobacco control. So GST reform. So today GST implementation has completed 8 years. That means it implemented in India on 1st of July 2017 and we have reached 2025. So GST has completed 8 years of its implementation, and along with that it is talking about that the tobacco control is still out of the hands of the administration, means there are not enough taxes being imposed on the tobacco production, and that is one of the reasons कि tobacco की बहुत ज़्यादा supply है, बहुत ज़्यादा demand है, and tobacco is very harmful for the citizens of India. So the editorial is saying that similar to other countries like France, Germany, Australia, Japan, these countries have imposed more than 75% of taxes on tobacco in order to reduce its consumption. So we will see all of that in detail there. Good evening, Meenu, Jyoti, Kunal, Sonali. Good evening, everyone. Then comes the next, can a GI tag prevent cultural misappropriation? Now first I will tell you the meaning of cultural misappropriation here. Basically when there is unauthorized or insignificant use of few of the products of one culture by another member, basically it means, or it is in news because of the famous Prada. It's an Italian luxury brand which has used or which has shown Kolhapuri chappals in their Milan Fashion Week. Kolhapuri chappals in Milan Fashion Week, that has created the controversy because Kolhapuri chappals have got the GI tag from Maharashtra and Karnataka, and all these manufacturers are saying that we are selling these Kolhapuri chappals for around 450 to 1000 rupees, but Prada is going to sell the same or similar sort of chappals for around more than 1 lakh rupees. So that has created controversy regarding the GI tag status. GI stands for geographical indication tag. So we will be seeing in detail what is GI tag. Are there any global treaties related to that? Is there any legal national law or domestic law related to that? We will be seeing all of that in detail. Good evening, Anand, Kathiravan, Sujata, Viru. Yes, Anand, due to some unfortunate circumstances or technical glitches, we could not conduct the DNA session yesterday. That is the reason DNA PDF has not been uploaded of 30th of June 2025. But let's focus here today. Then comes the first one under Prelim Sarthi. There are few new species who have been added to the flora and fauna. Not much to discuss here. I'll tell you what's important and what's not. Then comes the next second, that is Hul Diwas, H-U-L. You can pronounce it as Hul Diwas or Hul Diwas. Now it is the famous of Santhal rebellion of Jharkhand. And along with all these news, I've also added 3 PYQs for you. Basically the GST PYQ of the year 2017. Then here I've added the GI tag PYQ, and similarly I've added one PYQ based on the Santhal rebellion, and all are being asked. All these PYQs are from UPSC CSE only. Like it's not from CDS or CAPF. It's from Civil Services Examination only. Good evening, Vishalakshi, Deepika, Love, Viru, Sujata. Good evening, everyone, bache. Then comes the financial stability report. We will see that which body releases the financial stability report and what does this report says. Is it is it released annually or biannually? We will see all of that in detail. Then last, water bill initiative. Here what's happening is, so it's an initiative, the picture of which has been in the news. Basically it's in Vellore district of Tamil Nadu, where the school rung the bell in order to provide, or in order to send a message to the students to drink water, to keep them hydrated, because once they are hydrated it would increase their memory as well as the focus and concentration. So it is a very good initiative by the Tamil Nadu government. Why I have mentioned it here? Because this sort of examples you can use in multiple papers. Then again, when we will reach here, I will tell you which all papers you can use this example, and that is how you have to do the interlinkage of the current affairs as well as the static part, or whatever you read in newspaper, how you can implement the same while writing the answers in the mains examination, right? So let's quickly come to the first editorial, that is GST reform and unfinished business in tobacco control. Why in news? As I've told you, 8 years GST has completed since its introduction on 1st of July 2017, and syllabus it covers GS3 paper, Indian economy. Then comes the first one, achievements. First it is talking about achievements, and then the editorial is gonna criticize the GST system. So basically you all must be knowing that GST, goods and services tax, has subsumed service tax, then it has subsumed the octroi duty, it has subsumed the excise duty as well, right? It has subsumed VAT as well, that is value added tax. So unification of indirect taxes under one nation, one tax, simplified compliance and promoted economic integration. Various states, Karnataka, Tamil Nadu, Gujarat, Rajasthan, has seen smoother flow of goods after the implementation of the GST, right? So they have seen smoother flow of goods and services after GST has been implemented. Before that there was lot of cumbersome procedure, there were lot of lengthy requirements, and there were lot of paper dealings, जिसकी वजह से जो goods का flow है वो smooth नहीं था. Good evening Sabu, Rishi, Kalyani, Vaishnavi, Vishalakshi, good evening everyone. Then record revenue, again see, out of all of these you do not have to learn anything, it's just for your understanding basis. I will tell you the important facts in the next to next slide, where you can just jot down or you can just write down what's important and what's not. But here, just for your understanding, I'm mentioning it here because it's mentioned in the editorial. Okay, so nothing, आपको यहाँ पे ज़्यादा कुछ याद करने की ज़रूरत नहीं है. Then this much lakh revenue GST collections in the year this, which is increment by 9.4% every year. So basically it is saying कि हर साल GST revenue जो है वो increment होता जा रहा है, and by the percentage 9.4%. and अभी कितना collect हुआ है, that is 22.08 lakh crore GST has been collected for the financial year 2024 to 2025. Again, do not learn this data. Yes, Sabu, yesterday due to technical reasons the DNA session could not be conducted, so the DNA PDF has not been shared, right? We apologize for that. Then comes the operational efficiency, removal of interstate checkpoints by 20%, digitization, that is e-way bill. You all must have heard about the e-way bill. जो bill चाहिए होता है from traveling from one state to another state, right? That is e-way bill. Improved compliance and curb tax evasion. Then input tax credit system, cascading tax, and lowered production cost. It has eliminated the same. Then comes the major part. Here it is saying, first the editorial is talking about the GST, the achievements of GST, and at the same time it is saying, Sabu, I've given the answer, beta. Yesterday DNA class not comes to YouTube. I've given the answer for that. So I hope it is clear. Due to some technical reason it could not be conducted, right? Then comes tobacco. Now these are the facts which you just have to read. Okay, nothing to remember here. Tobacco causes almost 3,500 deaths per day in India. It's a huge number. That is 3,500 deaths, right? Economic burden, it cost around 1.4% of the GDP. 1.4% of the GDP in 2017. Now it has 28.6% adults, 8.5% of the students from 13 to 15 years, and only this much. Again, all this is data, nothing to remember here. Okay, nothing to remember here. All this is just data. Then comes the stagnation in the taxation post GST. So basically it is saying कि 2017 के बाद से जो जीएसटी की अमाउंट है वो स्टैग्नेंट है एंड इट हैज नॉट बीन इंक्रीज्ड. द ऑथर इज सेइंग कि आप जीएसटी की अमाउंट टोबैको पे इंक्रीज करो सो दैट जितना ज्यादा टैक्स टोबैको पे लगेगा उसकी कंजम्पशन उतनी ही कम होगी. राइट रीता चौधरी, यू कैन स्टे with the DNA towards the end, and at the end I will answer your question, because if I answer your question right now, because you are asking me something which requires a very detailed answer, so it will definitely break the flow of the class as well as the other online students who are watching. So Rita, you can ask me the same question towards the end. I'll give you 5 minutes for that. Right, so it is saying कि भाई taxes आप increase करो, VAT increase करो, so that जितना tobacco पे taxes increment होगा उतना ही कम consumption लोग उसकी करेंगे. So no significant increase in the tobacco regular exercise led to 17% decline in the tobacco use. So basically this is one of the studies कि भाई अगर regular excise लगाओगे, regular VAT लगाओगे तो 17% जो टैबाको की कंजम्पशन है that have been reduced या उसका यूजेज have been reduced. Now what WHO is saying? WHO is saying कि भाई सपोज अगर 100 रुपए का टोबैको है तो आप इस पे 75% टैक्स लगाओ so that you sell it for 175 rupees. If you're gonna sell a product for 175 rupees instead of 100 rupees, so automatically the demand would be reduced of tobacco, right? But India का actual क्या है? बीड़ी पे हमारा कितना टैक्स परसेंट है? जस्ट 22%. सिगरेट्स जस्ट 54% एंड स्मोकलेस टोबैको पे इट इज अराउंड 65%, which is nearly equivalent to what is the WHO tax burden recommendation. Again, just for your understanding, आपको इन चीजों में से कुछ भी याद as such नहीं करना है. Okay, then GST relies heavily on ad valorem taxes. Now here the static part. Ad valorem taxes means according to the value. Now it's a Latin term. It's a Latin term according to the value. It is saying कि यहाँ पे ad valorem tax का मतलब कोई भी जो टैक्स लगेगा वो किस बेसिस पे लगेगा? वो लगेगा आपका परसेंटेज बेसिस पे. जैसे जीएसटी पे हमने देखा है ना बच्चे, 5%, 12%, 18%, 28%. तो जो टैक्स लग रहा है वो परसेंटेज वाइज लगेगा, राइट? नॉट दी कि भाई अगर 100 रुपए की चीज है तो इस पे हम 50 रुपए लगाएंगे नो मैटर व्हाट. इट इज नॉट द केस. इट इज द केस कि यहाँ पे परसेंटेज वाइज टैक्स लगेगा ऑन द ओवरऑल एमआरपी ऑफ द प्रोडक्ट. सो दैट इज एड वैलोरम टैक्स. गुड evening Hussain, Jai Hind. Then specific excise taxes fixed per unit are more effective at discouraging the consumption. As I've told you again and again कि जितना taxes लगेगा उतनी consumption कम होगी. Then central excise share has also been fallen. Cigarette का 8, then 1%, then 11%. That's it. Nothing to remember here. It was there in the editorial. Again and again I'm saying that is the reason I have mentioned. We'll quickly cover this. BDs used mostly by the poor make up large smoke tobacco segment. Then GST compensation cess, no rationale for their exemption. Cess contributes 50% of the cigarette taxes, could reduce tax burden, more affordable and harming health goals. Then comes the last. This is something which you need to know. Why I'm saying? Because it has been, these are the recommendations by the Parliamentary Standing Committee report. Now what this report says, it is saying कि इंडिया में जो tobacco है that is one of the most affordable if we compare the prices from the global countries. From the global countries, right? It is talking about France, it is talking about UK, it is talking about Australia. Even we have WHO Convention on Tobacco Control, which convention, now this convention says that there should be strict enforcement rules, there should be increased taxes in order to reduce the demand and thereby the consumption of the tobacco. And at the same time, it is also talking about these countries, that these countries have seen the implementation of the same, and after implementation, after imposing high amount of taxes, जो demand है उस चीज की वो काफी हद तक reduce हो गई है. Then UP and Gujarat are the top tobacco producing states in India, right? Which two states? That is UP and Gujarat are the two states जो सबसे ज्यादा tobacco produce करती है in India. Then comes it recommends tax hike to address the health concerns as well as the fiscal concerns. Again, we have discussed all of that. One more thing I can tell you here, just for your understanding, see, these all are extra knowledge which is not there in the editorial, but I have researched and I'm telling you. Again, according to the Cancer Institute based in the capital of Tamil Nadu, that is Chennai, it is saying that 40% of the oral cancers, 40% of the oral cancers are due to the tobacco, So 40% of the oral cancers are because of tobacco. So this has been said by Cancer Institute, Chennai, right? Yes, Charita, tell me, what's your doubt? Right, then comes the next. Again, this is a question. Now quickly solve this question and try to give me the answer. I request all the online students to give me the answer here. Please attempt this question. Quickly solve this question and give me the answer. Absolutely, Hussein. It leads to cancer, it leads to discoloration, it leads to lung cancer, tooth cancer. Good, Sujata. More answers quickly. Sachin is saying D. Good, Sachin. Attempt, give it an attempt, give it a try. Even if it's going to be wrong, it's absolutely fine. At least you are trying. Mamta is saying D. Good evening, Mamta. Good. Anyone else who wanna try? Hussein, Charita, Roshni saying D. Okay, Meenu, Katiravan, they all are saying D. Okay, so we will see this question now. Everyone, I want everyone's attention here, please. What are the most likely advantages of implementing goods and services tax? The question has been asked in 2017. Now, the first statement talks about it will replace multiple taxes collected by multiple authorities and thus create a single market in India. It is absolutely a correct statement. क्या करेगा? I told you service tax, excise duty, VAT, all of this will be subsumed. Very good. Arnav, Sabu, Banti, Charita, Rita, good, very good. It will replace multiple taxes collected by multiple authorities and create a single market in India. The entire India will be having single GST system. Now look at the next statement. It will drastically reduce the current account deficit of India and enable it to increase its foreign exchange reserve. This is, what is this? What is drastically? Drastically is a extreme word, right? Drastically reduce. Yes, it might reduce CAD. It might reduce current account deficit, but it will reduce it drastically. That is wrong. So second is wrong. Okay. Then comes the third. It will again enormously increase the growth and size of economy and will enable it to, again it's a wrong statement. These are the extreme words. Drastically, enormously increase the size of the economy. Beta, aaj tak till today, even after 8 years of implementation of GST, there are still challenges. There are still opportunities with all the state finance minister along with Union Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman. They are sitting over the GST Council, taking decisions for the better implementation of the GST. Now, all these changes which have been implemented across India, it take years and years to get normalized in a country, or I should say in a vast country like India, which has 140 crore people, right? So again, if you just see, no drastically, no enormously, the correct answer here is A. That is one only. Okay. Yes, Sonali. B is confused. Absolutely. Hussein is saying skip the question. I'll go with option A. Good. Charita, A or B is confused. Sabu, Hussein, A. Absolutely. A is the correct answer here. Okay. It's okay if you have given the wrong answer. Try to understand the logic before solving all these questions. Okay, so these are the questions you need to take care of. Then comes the next, can a GI tag prevent cultural misappropriation? So again, I've told you the whole story behind it. The Prada, the Italian luxury brand, using or showing the Kolhapuri chappals at its own Milan Fashion Week, which has not been taken well by the Kolhapuri chappal manufacturers. Kahan kiye beta Kolhapuri chappals? Anyone can tell me? GI टैग कौन सी स्टेट से मिला इनको, कोल्हापुरी चप्पल्स को? चरिता, सनेली, हुसैन, साबू, एनीवन? बेसिकली कोल्हापुरी चप्पल्स को बेटा मिला है महाराष्ट्र एंड कर्नाटका. Okay, Maharashtra and Karnataka. Now it covers GS paper 3, that is Indian economy. No, Mamta, it is Maharashtra and Karnataka. Now what is geographical indication? See, in simplest of the simple terms, ऐसा कोई भी product जिसके features, जिसके components उस specific origin, उस specific place, the geographical place से आते हैं, उस places को GI tag मिलता है. Good. Arnav, Banti, Mamta, Jayant, Charita, Hussain, Vishalakshi, very good. So any of the product which has its origin from that geographical area, जो उसके features, उसके components उस geographical area के साथ similar हैं, उसको GI tag मिलता है. So it's form of a intellectual property that identifies, again, see, goods originating from a particular region or particular locality, right, where certain qualities, characteristic, reputation are linked to that geographical location. Geographical location. In India, again, see, they are not like trademarks जो एक individual को मिलेगा. GI tag is something जो community based होता है. अब कोल्हापुरी चप्पल की जो कंट्रोवर्सी हुई है, उसमें ऐसा नहीं है कि कोई एक बंदा उस चीज के लिए लड़ रहा है. It's about the organization, it's about the association. जो भी उस मार्केट की एसोसिएशन है कोल्हापुरी चप्पल्स की, they are fighting and they have pleaded to the Maharashtra CM, that is Devendra Fadnavis, to raise this issue at the global level or with the union government or with the Prada, and at the same time Prada has also issued a formal apology for the same. They have said that we apologize, और अगर कोई भी share या anything which needs to be shared with the manufacturers, they are ready to have a word about this as well. Okay, very good Charita. Then good Charita. Then comes collective and community based, unlike trademarks which are held by the individual enterprises. So Saurya, what I have said अभी, GI tag एक ऐसा प्रोडक्ट, GI tag उन प्रोडक्ट्स को मिलता है जिसके फीचर्स या जिसके कंपोनेंट्स ऐसी जगह से हो जो एक पर्टिकुलर ज्योग्राफिकल लोकेशन पे बेस्ड हो, जो एक पर्टिकुलर ज्योग्राफिकल लोकेशन से मिलते हो. फॉर एग्जांपल कांचीपुरम सिल्क साड़ीज, नाउ दे आर फेमस ऑफ Tamil Nadu. We have Kurg orange, these are famous of, what do we say, Karnataka, right? Then we have Darjeeling tea, West Bengal. Then we have Madhubani paintings famous of where? Madhubani, Bihar. Then comes the Pashmina shawls, that is Jammu and Kashmir. Then we have Alfonso mango, that is again of Maharashtra. Then we have Aipan paintings, AIPAN, that is of famous Uttarakhand state, right? So all these have got the GI tags. Okay, Saurya, good. Then comes, as of now, we have 658 Indian products that are registered as GI tag. Now examples like Darjeeling tea, Madhubani paintings, Pashmina shawls, Kolhapuri chappals, and then Kanchipuram silk from Tamil Nadu. Okay, then comes the next, that the legal framework. Now again, see, two framework you need to remember here, that is Paris Agreement, and then we have TRIPS Agreement, along with we have Lisbon Treaty, right? So first we will discuss the Paris Agreement. It is so old that it is of the year 1883. Now this was the first agreement which said कि जिस प्रोडक्ट का जहां से ओरिजिन है, जहां ज्योग्राफिकल लोकेशन से उस चीज की उत्पन्न हो रही है या उस चीज से फेमस है, हमें ऐसे प्रोडक्ट्स को सेव करना चाहिए. दैट हैज बीन सेड बाय whom? That has been said by Paris Convention. Then it was reinforced by the TRIPS Agreement 1995. अब TRIPS Agreement क्या कहता है? That WTO, World Trade Organization को, this is very important, focus on this. Okay, I have a question for you. WTO को कोई legal framework लाना चाहिए. All the WTO members should bring legal framework to protect the GI goods. Okay, so TRIPS Agreement talks about कि WTO members को कोई legal framework लाना चाहिए to protect the GI goods. Then a TRIPS signatory enacted the then India after the TRIPS Agreement. Then it said कि geographical indication of goods Act 1999 we have implemented or we have enacted this act after the TRIPS Agreement. It has also provided for GI registration, infringement and prohibited the authorized use of registered GIs. अब बच्चे एक और चीज मैं आपको इधर बताता हूं, GI का प्रॉब्लम क्या हो रहा है. जितने भी GI टैग्स मिले हैं, those are valid only in India. अब यूरोप में अगर कोई भी कंट्री, कोई भी अगर कोल्हापुरी चप्पल्स का कुछ यूज कर रही है या अल्फांसो मैंगो का कुछ ट्रेड कर रही है या कांचीपुरम सिल्क का कोई ट्रेड कर रही है, नाउ सेम GI थिंग हैज टू बी रजिस्टर्ड देयर एज वेल, इन दैट कंट्री एज वेल, in order to full stop, in order to prevent the misuse of such products. Okay, Arzu, good evening. Then GI rights are territorial in nature, meaning that they are enforceable only within the country where they are registered. There is no automatic international protection of GIs. For cross-border protection, they must be registered individually in each jurisdiction. Again, abhi I've just told you this. Now same point has been mentioned here as well, कि वो सिर्फ territorial in nature and that means they are protected only within the borders of India. अब वही अगर अफगानिस्तान चला जाए, चाइना चला जाए, श्रीलंका चला जाए, those cannot be protected. Then to pursue legal action abroad, they must first register the GI in the country. And then it talks about the Lisbon Agreement. Now, Lisbon Agreement is being implemented by World Intellectual Property Organization. Lisbon is a place in Portugal. लिस्बन इज अ प्लेस इन पोर्चुगल. अब लिस्बन अग्रीमेंट या लिस्बन ट्रीटी क्या कहती है? लिस्बन ट्रीटी मेक श्योर कि कोई भी जीआई टैग अगर किसी कंट्री में मिल रहा है तो वो इंटरनेशनली रिकॉग्नाइज्ड हो, सो दैट उस प्रोडक्ट को बार बार अलग अलग कंट्री में रजिस्टर करवाने की जरूरत ना हो. बट अनफॉर्चुनेटली एज ऑफ नाउ आवर कंट्री इंडिया इज नॉट अ मेंबर ऑफ लिस्बन ट्रीटी or Lisbon Agreement. So India is not a member. Right here it is written, country concerned international system like Lisbon Agreement. India is not a member or bilateral trade agreements. Okay, then comes the next, the recent controversy. I've told you Prada and Kolhapuri chappals showcased a sandal design. Kolhapuri chappals GI tagged in India, sparked accusations of cultural misappropriation. अब बच्चे कल्चरल मिसअप्रोप्रिएशन क्या होता है? व्हाट दे हैव डन कि अगर किसी कल्चर को गलत तरीके से यूज किया जाए, सो द मेंबर्स ऑफ दैट कल्चर विल गेट ऑफेंडेड एंड दे टेक एक्शन अगेंस्ट दैट पर्टिकुलर members who have misused the culture or misused the components of that particular tradition or particular ritual or particular culture. In this way, Prada has shown, see, these are the pictures of Milan Fashion Week, and by this they have been condemned, right? These are the Kolhapuri chappals that they have copied from the Maharashtra and Karnataka. अब past में पहले भी ग्लोबल मिसअप्रोप्रिएशन हुआ है किसके? फॉर एग्जाम्पल बासमती राइस, यूएस की कोई फर्म थी, उसने भी बासमती का नाम यूज करना चाहा while selling its own product. Then comes turmeric. Even turmeric was being used as the same. Also neem in the year 2000. See, on neem based formulation after India proved that it is a traditional knowledge. That is why our Narendra Modi government has brought traditional knowledge digital library in order to make sure that it spread a message to all the countries कि अगर आप नीम का यूज कर रहे हो, टर्मेरिक का यूज कर रहे हो, it is always traditional knowledge which is being used by the country India and you cannot misuse it. So GI protection is limited without supporting the documentation and databases. Again, these are the way forward. See, traditional knowledge digital library suggested सर्चेबल डेटाबेस ऑफ कल्चरल एक्सप्रेशन. अब अगर फ्रांस में अगर किसी को नीम का कुछ यूज करना है या जापान में किसी को टर्मेरिक का कुछ यूज करना है, वो हमारी ट्रेडिशनल नॉलेज डिजिटल लाइब्रेरी में जाएगा. It will search for that same cultural expression, and if we get to know that, oh, turmeric is a traditional knowledge, got GI tag in India, neem with the same, so again it will not misuse it. अब जापान में किसको जाके कौन बता रहा है कि टर्मेरिक है मेरी महाराष्ट्र में फेमस है? It will only be known through online sources, and through online sources what is important? Traditional knowledge digital library. Due diligence tool to prevent inadvertent appropriation and promote ethical usage through the benefit sharing. Right now there is a PYQ of the year 2018. Quickly solve this question, bache, everyone. Charita, Hussain, Kalyani, give me the answers now. Very good, Kalyani, Mamta, Shivu, Kathiravan, Charita, Roshni, Sonali, Sujata, Good, very good. All have given the correct answer. That is World Trade Organization. It enacted this in order to comply with the obligations of World Trade Organization. Good, Hussein, Arnav, Sujata. Everyone has given the correct answer. Very good. Then under prelims, we have those new species which are added to the India's fauna and flora during the year 2024. This data has been good, Rita. This data has been released by Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change. So again, I have just put the clipping here. अगर यहाँ पे आप देखोगे, there is nothing important as such, but one thing is very important here, or you just need to know the names of such. First, these are the species of plant. Here, if you see, these are the species of plant: the angiosperm, the gymnosperms, radiophytes, birophytes, then lichens, fungi and algae. So all of these you just need to read about it. Read about as in just get a fair idea of what it is and what not. Right? So all you need to do is just to have a rough idea about all of these. Then comes significant faunal discoveries. It includes, then if you see, the name of the reptiles is also mentioned here. If you just see the name of the reptiles here, right, these Dravidosapes, Coeneses belonging to this, you just need to know the name. You can just write it down in your notebook, only that much is important, right? The flora, and these all are the scientific names. Again, I'm saying you do not have to learn these because these are the scientific names. All you need to do, just write it down, right? Just for your, just skim through. एक बार बस आपको read करना है, that would be enough. You do not have to learn because it's mentioned in the newspaper, so I do not want you to miss it. Okay, this is only important here, and then we will move to the next news article, that is talks about the Hul Diwas. Now Hul Diwas, what happened here is in the Bog Nadi, you can see the word here, that is Bog Nadi in Sahib Ganj district, Jharkhand. So what here is, there was a lathi charge by the police. They have fired the tear gases as well as the lathis to the on the people because they were protesting, because जो उनका stage था to celebrate the Hul Diwas, that was dismantled. This is the story behind that. But from UPSC perspective, I'll be sharing everything here. So Bog Nadi is the birthplace of tribal freedom fighters, that is Sidhu and Kahanu Murmu, who led the Santhal rebellion in 1855 against the British operation. So here you have got many important information. Sidhu and Kahanu Murmu, they led what? They led Santhal rebellion. Now Santhal rebellion, which year? 1855, right? It was a rebellion by the peasants, by the tribal people against the owners, the landowners and all of that. Right, so 1855 against the British operation. जितने भी Britishers थे, वो जो landowners थे, जो money lenders थे, they were hand in glove with the British government and they were exploiting the tribal people. They were exploiting the poor peasants. They were exploiting the historically marginalized, the distressed sections of the society. So Sidhu and Kuno Murmu led the Santhal rebellion in the year 1855 against the British operation. Then Hul Diwas is being celebrated to honor the legacy of Santhal uprising, one of the earliest tribal revolt against the colonial expansion. Now one more thing here, Charita, see, again, it is not necessary bache to study the scientific name, but all I am saying is you can just write it down, है ना? बस वो किनके 5 नाम है, you can just write it down, and just for your understanding, you do not have to learn the scientific name. Very rare chance, like 0 chances that they will be asked, but I just want you to write it, reptile name and all those flora and fauna which they have added, that's it. Only the 5 names you can write and you can just skim through it. Okay, बस उसको एक बार पढ़ लेना, otherwise you do not have to learn it. Celebrated to honor the legacy of the Santhal uprising, then tribal revolt. Now there is one more important term here that is related to Damine ko, right? This term is related to Santhals. It is related to Santhals. Basically, this is the territory. In this term means the territory which has been given to the Santhals so that they can live there in the, this territory was given in the area of Rajmahal Hills. Only this much you need to know here. Otherwise, all the things I have discussed, only this much you have to learn. Okay. Hussain, you can ask me all of this later. Okay. Once the DNA is over. Then Santhal, Sidhu and Konu led the Santhal rebellion 1855. Even some historians ये भी कहते हैं कि जो 1857 है, that is not the first war of independence. Rather 1855, this Santhal rebellion is the first war of Indian independence, right? Then comes a PYQ for you, which was asked in the year 2018. Now quickly see this question and solve it, please everyone. Okay, so we'll discuss this after the Santhal uprising subsided. What were the measures taken by the colonial government? The territories called Santhal Paraganas were created. It is a correct statement. It became illegal for a Santhal to transfer land to the non-Santhals. I've told you that Damineko was a region given to the Santhals to settle themselves in that area in the Rajmahal Hills. Presently, it is in Jharkhand state. So both the statements are correct and the correct answer here is C. Okay, Manjunath is the only one who has given the correct answer. Okay, Vishalakshi Jivraj has also given the correct answer, but absolutely fine. All others that you have tried, but the correct answer is C. Quickly we will see financial stability report. It is released by Reserve Bank of India and it is released twice a year. That means it's a half yearly publication. Half yearly. Sorry for my bad handwriting. I hope you're understanding. That is half yearly publication. Only this much you need to know. We have global financial stability report as well. When I add the word global, then it is of, if I add the word global here, then it is of International Monetary Fund. Okay, then comes the water bell initiative. Now see here, this is the image and in this image you see the written students in a government school in Vellore drinking water during water bell break. Student gets few minute break during the forenoon and afternoon session to drink water, which improves the concentration and enhances the memory of the students. So here what you need to do is that this initiative, that is water bell initiative, you can use in now this water bell initiative you can use in two papers, that is GS2. In GS2, government policies, health, education, development, you can mention this as a government policy or government intervention in order to take care of the health as well as the education. And you can also write that there is intersectoral collaboration. When I say intersectoral collaboration, how I am saying it, that both the health as well as the education health as well as the education sector coming together and taking care of the water bill initiative. And second, you can use the same example in GS4, that is ethics, integrity and aptitude, where you can write it as that it is an innovative solution which has been used by the school administration in order to provide the habit or make the habit of the students to drink water, to stay hydrated, to conserve water, and by drinking water it will improve concentration as well as the memory. So it's a very good initiative. This is how you have to interlink the current with the static. One example, water bill initiative, you can use it in GS2, that is governance social justice. I've just told you the syllabus. Also the GS4, that is ethics, integrity and aptitude. With this, we have concluded today's daily news analysis session. Now you can quickly ask me your questions. Please quickly ask me questions. Thank you, Sen. Thank you so much. Yeah, Rita was asking me one of the question. Can you ask me again, Rita? You have a minute to ask, please. Yes, Charita. Anyone quickly having a question? Just a minute more. Muskan, I have two other teachers, that is Umang ma'am and Pooja ma'am. They also take the DNA sessions. I take it on Friday and Saturday, and they take on the other days, that is Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. But today, due to some reasons, I am taking the class today. Kalyani, you can begin the GS4 paper. Yes, Muskan, if you're preparing for UPSC, keep watching. You'll have a good idea about how to read the newspaper, because newspaper give you a very good glance over what all is happening in our country, and it gives you a holistic picture of the social, economic, political issues going on in the country. Yeah. Okay, so I hope I've answered all the. Yes, Rita, you were asking me about that you were 12th, how to start the UPSC preparation. See, if you have completed your 12th or you are in 12th, first focus on your board examinations. That is the first step. And along with that, if you have time, you can start reading the newspaper, right? And after your 12th, you can pick up your NCERT books. Once you have good base over the NCERTs, then you can switch to the static content, static subjects. And before you begin the NCERT, just go thorough with the syllabus. I know it is difficult, it would be a lot, but there are ample amount of videos on the YouTube where you can watch, and that will help you to simplify the UPSC syllabus at the same time. Yes, Alina, UPSC provides, Tathastu ICS provides UPSC plus BA course. There you can opt for the course and you can jot down your comment in the video, and our team will definitely get back to you with all the details. You can go for BA history as well. Hussein, that is impossible. No one can get inside the head of the examiner. So I hope I have answered all of the questions. I wish each one of you all the very, very best. Thank you so much. All the very best. See you tomorrow at the same time. So wish you all the very best. Thank you so much. Jai Hind, Jai Bharat. Thank you.